Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Inside Star Citizen looked at concepts of characters for Crusader and its Landing Zone Orison. There were a brief few frames of some alien concept animals as well, so I wanted to have a quick bit of a refresh and deeper delve into them as well. They also had a quick look at what planning week is and what producers do in the studio too. But let's start off with some character concepts. Orison is the first landing zone at Crusader, and we should see Crusader as an actual traversable gas giant and the first gas giant in game, and its floating cloud city Orison in Alpha 4.0 at the end of Q2 2020. As with all major planets and landing zones in the Stanton system, this necessitates the need to have brands and clothing more unique to the zone there. The concepts of Orison and its people there as a location and its clothing have all been advancing. There are engineers and shipbuilders that are commonly going to be in those zones because there is a major shipyard there. They started off by looking at sort of like World War II bomber pilots and used that as an influence to build the engineers and the style there, but Chris Roberts didn't like that. They also then sort of like moved on to a more corporate, futuristic tour guide look for some of the NPCs, which Chris Roberts then liked, and they started to move towards that direction. They then looked at the engineers from this point of view and sort of did high-tech, ancient Chinese / Persian sort of styled robes, more oriental suit styles, that sort of stuff, more modern oriental suit styles there as well. Upon developing those ideas, they looked really clean, high-tech, clean-cut. I really love these blue suits, but then they further iterated on these, or at least talked about other iterations that they could potentially do, and they looked at colonial sort of influences as well as 50s influences, which had, well, the colonial ones anyway, had everyone looking a little bit overly American Civil War or Amish. They then decided against 50s styles, but they want a little tiny bit of that colonial inspiration, but with the clean high-tech cuts that they previously saw with the blue suits. I'm really excited about Crusader and Orison. Obviously, Crusader is going to be really interesting because it's a gas giant, it's the best gas giant we've got in game, and it's going to be traversable to some extent, so there's going to be gas clouds and stuff to fly around and points of interest there somewhere. But Orison itself is this beautiful floating cloud city, and it's going to be so directly opposed to sort of like the feel of Hurston and ArcCorp. It's just this sort of like floating garden, but with high-tech buildings and shops, and it looks like it's a significantly less oppressive area than somewhere like Hurston. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for that. Also very excited to have potentially the first sort of like large shipyards in game that could service capital ships. Some of the concepts that were shown very briefly as well were of animals. Again, dangerous sort of like looking alien pigs, buffaloes, goats, and cows. We have actually previously seen some of these animal styles before, which I should hopefully be able to put up on screen for you. We know that there are going to be Oni crabs on Hurston. They'll probably be the first sort of animal that we see in the game. There's also Ranta that they've talked about as well, which are sort of assumedly a rat or mole type creature that live in caves. And there's going to be a mixture of dangerous creatures, carnivorous ones, vegetarians, omnivores, benign animals on these planets and moons with livable atmospheres. And these might change drastically based on each individual planet and moon you go onto. Or it might be, well, these animals were brought here from somewhere else. So in the case of the Oni crabs on Hurston, they're not actually native to Hurston. They've sort of like been brought there. So that might be a lot of the stuff where humans move. That's where the sort of like populations of animals start. But you'll get some unique ones on some of the planets. I mean, there's supposed to be sandworms on Lear 3, that sort of stuff. I think that's really interesting. And hopefully there will be gameplay mechanics associated with some of these animals, like big game hunting, capture, moving these animals around for trade, maybe as pets as well. Those are all sort of mechanics that they've previously talked about, having the correct atmosphere in a cargo container for an animal so that it can survive a journey, that sort of stuff. They also do have planned daily schedules for animals on planets, so they will go to like watering holes and things like that. They're supposed to be moving around, living, breathing sort of animals, although it'll be interesting to see how they spawn, but maybe they'll have dens, because they've talked about NPC sort of like spawning and how they want to do it with NPC schedulers, and obviously they'll do the sort of like more bipedal NPCs first to a bit higher detail before we'll see animals on planets, but it's something that they are moving towards. Planning week. So CIG spend the first part of January every year reviewing what they did in the last year and to work out goals and focuses for the new year. This is a big version of them evaluating the direction of the project, though they do this to a smaller degree every few weeks and with each major patch as well. The planning week, however, sees a global alignment of the teams and studios, a giant inter-studio team meeting, basically. This is also a good time for the teams to understand what aspect of what the other teams are doing, what other disciplines do, how that sort of like fits into the context of the company. It gives you a good look beyond your area of operation. It puts it in context. A lot of the feedback on Spectrum is taken into account and discussed during planning week, but obviously during the smaller planning ones as well. The producers are the ones who are pushing, organising and seeing what is viable to deliver each quarter. Producers at CIG help organise any given project or feature sprint in aid to make it more smooth and efficient as a process. They sort of shepherd the devs into working on a focus and get information exchanged, get the resources going to where they need to go, and get everyone on the same page. A big part of this is balancing individual dev schedules so that work aligns and no one is sort of waiting idle. It's about efficiency a lot of the time, but also almost negotiating with other teams and the staff members regularly to see what they can actually provide in any given time frame. There are roughly 60 individual teams operating at CIG at the moment at any given time for a given quarter. It remains to be seen whether staggered development will lead to better or more playable, efficient patches for 2020, as it hasn't paid dividends yet, that staggered development model. Some other little news snippets. Carrack, should be in February, by the end of February 2020. We're getting a 3.8.2 patch. I'm assuming that's the one that Carrack's coming in, but it's possible that they do another hotfix patch to 3.8.1, because there are lots of problems with 3.8.1 still. And that's sort of it for the Inside Star Citizen summary. I really did like the bomber-influenced engineers, but also the clean-cut, futuristic blue uniforms as well. If I was cosplaying as anything, those uniforms look awesome. What concepts did you like the look of? Are you excited for Crusader in Alpha 4.0? Do you think Crusader will slip off the roadmap? Hopefully, no. I'm pretty sure they seem to keep the planets and the landing zones where possible, so pretty sure that 4.0 end of Q2 2020 is a thing. What are your thoughts, though? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Oh, as that was a quick video, I'll do a quick outro. If you want to help support the channel, there's the YouTube join button and lots of links below. You can become a Patreon or you can donate or whatever. There's a giveaway for a Anvil arrow at the moment. All you got to do is comment on any videos that were made during January's period, and I will draw the winner of that tomorrow. Ooh, because it's the 1st of February tomorrow at the time of recording. Anyway, I also shill for NordVPN. Great VPN service, cheap. It does VPN stuff. Boom, check out the links below, and Shadow. And if you're looking for a gaming PC and you have an internet connection, then you can stream a gaming platform to a laptop or PC or phone or whatever, and you don't need to maintain your own gaming rig. It's a clever idea. You pay subscription, no gaming rig necessary. Check out the links below for more information on that. Use discount codes BoredGamer. Pew 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 pew. Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys.